Yo guys, what's up? It is Ripe again, back with more Tales from the Front Desk and Tales from the Tech Support. In case you did not know, I recently opened a Patreon account where you can find exclusive Reddit videos starting at just $3 per month. Please head on over to patreon.com/ripeyoutube if you are interested. Thank you so much, and now let's start with the stories. And the first one is from r/Tales from the Front Desk, and it is titled, You Will Check Me In. So my best friend and now former co-worker and I were reminiscing about a particular hotel we used to work together, and I was reminded of this story that happened before she started working there. The characters of this story are me, you already know, SM Scary Man, SMG Scary Man's girlfriend. It was about 4 years ago, and I had probably worked at that hotel for almost a year. I had just about 3 hours left on my shift, and I had 3 arrivals left, and we were almost full. I was checking some emails when this man comes up on his bike, scary looking face, baggy clothes, tattoos on his arms, and had kind of a little swagger to him. He was actually very polite at first. He put his bike up and walked into the lobby. Me, hello, how can I help you? SM, hey man, how's it going? I have a reservation just for tonight. Me, fantastic, what's the name on the reservation? SM, it's under SMG, she's my girlfriend. My name is Scary Man. Now me being slightly new, I was obviously taught that I could not check someone into a reservation whose name does not match. So I noticed his name was not on the reservation, and I thought, well, maybe the girlfriend was outside and he was just making sure that they were at the right hotel, or just wanting to get the check-in process started and she would finish it up. But nope. So we started making nice small talk while I was thinking that I was giving the girlfriend time to come to the desk. He was asking about my day and how long I worked there and such, and all around was pleasant. Me wanting to see what he would tell me. So does your girlfriend need help with your luggage? We don't have a bellboy, but I could help if you want to at least get it on your card. SM, yo man, that's super nice of you, but I think I can manage. My girl is actually at work, so I'm just checking into our room for us so I can wait for her. She works in the mall across from the hotel. Me, internal. Damn it. Oh, I see. Well, sir, the reservation is under her name only, and unfortunately for security reasons I cannot check you in unless your name is on the reservation or she's here with you. SM, face immediately turns super sour. My name is not on the reservation? Me? No, I apologize, but listen, you're more than welcome to sit in the lobby and wait for her, and if you want to get a drink and a snack from our market, it is on me. SM, alright. He grabbed some chips and a water, and he seemed slightly annoyed but calm, and he went and sat down and watched TV. Now, when I am standing in front of the desk, I can see our fireplace, and there are 2 chairs that face at an angle to where the guests can watch TV, but we can see who is sitting there. So I went back to my emails, and he sat there for legit 10 minutes, and then he spoke loudly across the room. SM, are you sure you cannot just check me in? He gets up and places his ID on my desk. Me, I do apologize, but as I said, I cannot check you into a reservation that does not have your name. I know it's inconvenient, but we have to wait until she gets here. He stares at me for a long time and then sits back down, and for the next 20 minutes he repeats this process at least 3 more times, and even says that his girlfriend works next door and she will be getting out in an hour. He even said that he would call her so she could talk to me, and I declined. I'm finally starting to get annoyed. Finally he comes up one last time. I was getting something from the back office, and when I came back to the desk he was standing there calm but obviously annoyed. SM, alright, so here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna check me in with my ID. No sir, I will not do that. I have already told you several times as to why I cannot do that. SM pulls out a large, heavy, thick glass vase from under him that belongs to the lobby and places it on my desk while he is holding it in a way to where he is letting me know he might throw it. Like I said, you're gonna check me into this room using my ID. Now at this point I was looking at this vase, and let me tell you, I got super nervous and I was shaking all over. I don't know whether he could tell or not, but I tried my best to keep my composure. Me, are you threatening me right now? Put that vase down. SM, he stares at me for the longest time, not saying a word for a few more minutes. Every couple of seconds he would lightly tap the vase on the desk. So like I said, this is what is going to happen. You will check me in. I'm going to hand you my ID and you will check me into this room. At this point I am terrified. If I insult him or make him more mad, I don't know what he will do, and if I go back to my office, which has no lock, then he has another way of trapping me in a confined space rather than out in the open in the middle of the lobby where people could possibly pass by. At least this way up in the front I have a 50-50 chance. I told him once again I will not do that and that he has to be patient and to put the vase down. He did not, so I stood there doing my clerical front desk duties and ignored him. When he finally moved to possibly go to the bathroom or get something from our lobby area, I quickly went to the back office and made my way into our sales director's office using my keys and locked myself in there. I have never been in this situation before, so I almost did not know what to do. I remembered what I had been told to do and I called the police and let them know what was going on, and at this point while I am on the phone I can hear SM screaming in the lobby. I let the police know and they told me they would send someone right away. Now, we do have some local police that stick around our area and they are pretty nice, so I knew they would be here in no time. After I hung up with them, I called my FOM and was just telling him what was going on and that I had called the police. He was very sweet and one of my best friends there. He was an old, super tall southern gay man and we were always talking smack to each other and eventually became close. He was very protective of his employees and always stood up for us, especially me. He offered to go over there, even though I said I would be fine. He insisted due to the fact that I sounded shaken and I wanted to cry, and said he would be right over. Now, when I hung up, I noticed I did not hear any screaming, so I went next door to my GM's office where we have our cameras, and I looked and noticed he was gone. I stood there for a few minutes and nothing. I went back up to the front and stayed there for about another 5 minutes and still nothing. Well, once again, I was wrong to think that he was done, so he walks back in, but this time with a woman who is none other than the girlfriend he kept mentioning. SM, see, what did I tell you? She's effing here, now check. SMG, babe, enough. I'm so sorry about this. I work for Farriot and I should have known you wouldn't have checked him in without me being here. I would like to check in, please. Are you effing kidding me? At this point my composure was slightly lost because I could not believe she just asked me that. I assume her asshead of a boyfriend did not tell her what happened, so I decided to let her know. Me? At this point, ma'am, no, I will not check you in. Your boyfriend, SM interrupts.
What the F, you effing idiot? She's here, what the F is your problem?
Me? At this point I've had enough and I started yelling. I've had enough of your shit. Now, as I was saying, I have cancelled your reservation and will not check you guys in because he decided to come in here and threaten my life. So now you have to leave. Now. SM.
I never threatened you, you effing idiot. I'm gonna F you up. I swear to God.
Me? Do not act brand new or play the victim. It does not suit you. I've had enough of your shit. Now both of you get out. SMG. I am so sorry. I understand. We will leave. Me? I don't need your apology. I need you to get the hell out now. She starts screaming at her boyfriend, who is still yelling at me and calling me every name in the book, calling him stupid and that it was his fault they got kicked out. They left and a couple minutes later my FOM walks in and he takes me to the back and I told him what he missed. He hugged me because he saw I was shaking and he told me that he would stay with me until my shift was over and that he would drive me home. About 10 minutes later the police show up and they are the regular cops that come in all the time during their rounds. They get a statement from me and the main cop apologized for taking so long, but on their way over they actually arrested the guy that threatened me. He actually tried to run away from them when they tried to question him. That made me feel better, thank God. Luckily, something like that has not happened again in the few years I was in hotels, but man oh man, when I was reminded of this story I was shaking all over again. Now I'm gonna go put on some coffee and play a game to calm down. And in addition guys, I gotta say, usually working at a hotel front desk does not really seem like a dangerous job, but then again when you hear stories about lunatics like this, then I might think a bit different about this job. Either way, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you want to support me. Thank you so much. And the next one is an absolutely infuriating story from r/Tales from the Tech Support, and it is titled Angry Karen Challenges Me.
You are lying. My son would never do that.
I got recommended here by a friend who thinks the world needs to hear my stories from when I worked as a laptop technician. I am new to Reddit, so be patient with me. This story took place about a year into the job. I started working in the repair shop as counter staff, but got bumped to assistant manager and then technician, so I often found myself alternating roles wherever I was needed on the day. One summer day, I'm about to clock out and go on my lunch break when a customer comes in with a laptop. She seemed pretty pissed off, so I held back to help her out as my work colleagues were all with other customers. This customer quickly turned into a Karen within minutes. Me, hi, how can I help you? Karen,
I bought this stupid laptop a few days ago from here and it already stopped working. It's my son's laptop, so I need it looked at immediately.
The repair shop was pretty big, so we also did a lot of business selling second-hand phones, tablets, laptops, as well as a bunch of different accessories. Immediately I recognized the laptop she has brought in, as I was the one who had prepared it to be sold earlier that week. A very distinct bright blue HP, cannot remember what model it was but doubt it matters. Immediately my gut instinct tells me this is a SUS situation. Whatever that means, I'm not sure. Me, so what kind of problems are you having with the machine? Karen,
my son only used it for a few days and then it started slowing down and now doesn't work at all.
Me, that's no problem. I will help you out here at the counter and try to resolve the issue for you quickly. I opened the machine up at the counter and the OS is completely destroyed. Corrupted shortcuts on the desktop, the machine is crashing whenever I would try to open File Explorer, command prompt, etc. My standard guess in this situation would be a hard drive failure, but I had installed a brand new hard drive in the machine, so this situation screamed like Karen is not telling me the whole story. I was on the job long enough to trust my instincts with customers, and seeing as I was the last person to touch the machine before her, I knew it was almost definitely one of two options. Either A, both the lab as well as me missed something which was very unlikely, or B, the customer damaged the machine and is trying to play it off like it is our fault. I was not about to make any assumptions, but this customer had an attitude, a kind that is very distinct from the usual frustrated customer, an attitude you would only get from customers who were ready to start a fight. I explained to Karen what I can see on her desktop and that this kind of problem can only be resolved once the technician has taken a proper look. I explain our book-in procedure, that we will take in the machine and test it and then call her within 24 hours with an update on what we have found. Unsurprisingly, she is huffing over having to leave the machine in the shop. When booking in a repair like this, we take a full report from the customer of what had occurred in case we need to build a case for any reason, so I get to asking her some standard questions. Me, so when did you start noticing these problems with the machine? Karen,
only this morning when I turned it on. It was fine last night.
Me, you mentioned your son uses the machine. Did he mention noticing anything wrong at any time over the past few days? The mentioning of her son set Karen off and she starts snapping in front of all the other customers. I know I have hit a nerve here and her son is involved in this story somehow. Karen,
my son is none of your concern. You're dealing with me here.
Now the aim of the game here with a wild Karen is to calm her quickly, as any provocation could set her off into a wild rampage. Using my amazing charm, I explained to Karen that I understand her frustration, but for me to properly assess the damages and help her, I need to know how the machine has been used. She calms and starts complying.
My son rarely used the machine. I only gave it to him for a few hours to play his games.
Me, can I ask what games those were? Karen,
only Minecraft and Roblox. He's too young to know how to do anything himself.
Now I know this woman is either clueless or lying to my face, as I can clearly see the Steam launcher on the desktop as well as a bunch of other scattered games and game folders, so I decide to test her story. Ma'am, I'm just going to ask you a few questions about what I can see here. Do you know what Steam is?
No.
And have you ever heard of any of the following games? War Thunder, Team Fortress 2, etc.?
No.
Okay ma'am, if you will give me 1 minute, I would just like to take your hard drive into the back and run a quick scan to see what other data I can see. She gives permission, so I take the laptop in the back and plug the HDD into our system and find exactly what I was expecting. The local disk has been completely destroyed, assumedly by her son. Half-installed game folders everywhere, files pulled out of x86 and dumped on the desktop in the recycle bin. This kid has even pulled folders out of what I assume is Windows and done the same, thrown pieces of the OS at random around the local disk. Now, I don't suspect she did any damage herself, but it is evident someone deliberately effed the laptop, likely her son. She clearly knows this and is trying to play the issue off like this damage was there from when we sold her the machine. I show the damage to the other technician who works with me and he agrees with my assumption. Now comes the tricky part, confronting the beast. The two of us go out to Karen and explain what we have found. Me, so I opened up your files in the back and have found the issue causing your problems. We pull up screenshots we made in the back and show them to Karen on our tablets in the front of the store. We proceed to explain what she's looking at and that this damage was caused by someone moving files and possibly deleting portions of the OS. Pointing out evidence that conflicted with Karen's story sent her into a fiery rage against me and the technician. Me? Is there any chance your son may have done this damage? Could you have left him alone with the machine at any point? Karen?
How dare you call me a liar? My son would have never done this. And neither have I. You're clearly trying to push your own errors onto me. I want a refund.
Me? Ma'am, I'm not calling anyone a liar. I can only make assessments based on the evidence I have here. What I know is that the damage caused to your laptop was done by a person, and I know this damage was not present when the laptop was put up for sale earlier this week. We take screenshots and full reports of all devices before they are put out for sale. Regardless of who caused this damage, this voids your warranty on the machine and you're not eligible for a refund.
Give me the owner's number right now. I'm going to get you punished for your rudeness.
Ma'am, I legally cannot give you the owner's private number. If you want, you can leave your own number and I can have him call you the next time he is in the store. For now, all I can do is book in your machine and have the technician assess it for you. Karen.
Then get me your manager. You're not getting out of talking to me like this.
Ma'am, I am the manager on site right now. Again, I'm sorry for this inconvenience, but all I can do for you is book in your machine for an assessment and repair. Seeing that neither of us are budging to her raged screaming, Karen falters to the pressure. She shifts into a passive-aggressive mood and has me book in her laptop for a repair, all while I maintain my standard happy composure to the customer. I hand her the repaired docket and wish her a nice day. She storms out of the building. I wasted 30 minutes of my lunch break helping a Karen, but the salt was too much not to pass up on. And guys, I gotta say, my standard question would be, what was the kid doing? What was the purpose of pulling all those files? Personally, I could only explain it like this. Maybe he was trying to get more space for his games, but did not know his way around computers well enough to know what he was doing. Or he was trying to sabotage the computer to get a better one, as the games did not run well on a laptop that probably was not top of the line. And apparently a user in the comments agrees with me and he says, ding ding, it is definitely kids that makes old laptops look broken, so the mother buys a new one that will run his games. Best thing to do in this case is to whip out Event Viewer and find the timestamps for when stuff was moved around. Get more than one example and then show the parent and ask if the kid was using the machine at the time. And guys, I'm curious, did you ever have your PC destroyed by any virus, malware or something else? Personally, I gotta say, I'm pretty good with computers, but in the past I learned one lesson very quickly. So basically, I was at a download site and I was waiting for the download to finish. And back then I did not use any ad blockers or add-ons that would prevent maybe malicious advertisement to display. So basically, while I was waiting for the download, in the back, the browser, or rather the website, led me to download some file automatically, and then my computer also executed the file automatically. So basically, I got infected without doing anything, without clicking on any .exe file or anything. So my advice to you, use an ad blocker if you can, and of course turn it off when you watch my videos, and use the add-on called No Script. This add-on will really help you a lot, and it will make it almost impossible for you to get infected by something like this. But either way, enough with the tech support or tech advice. Unfortunately, we have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this format, and if you do, please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.